Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in this week. I just want to take a quick second and give a shout out to our sponsor, 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosick Road in Troy, New York. Make sure you stop in there and check them out and tell them that the Pitch Putt and Puff crew sent you. Tonight, what I'm doing is a new edition, trying to introduce different members of the Golfer Gang Network. Had a late cancellation tonight, and John from the Bumbling Golfer was nice enough to join me tonight. John, what's up, man? I really appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries at all. And I apologize for those of you who are watching this. I look like Casper, the friendly ghost. Like I don't understand what's going on. Maybe it's the dark shirt or something. I don't know. But yeah, man, awesome to meet you, and always looking to expand the network. Especially around the golf scene and the Golfer Gang Network has been pretty interesting so far. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, getting to meet different people, different experiences so far. Hope to eventually meet everybody in person, get a little outing going, something of that nature. Be a good time.
Yeah. I hopefully it works. I mean, you're right in New York, right?
Yeah, I'm upstate New York, so the Albany area.
Okay, so I may be up in that area at some point in the near future. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's hopefully it works out to where we can, if it works out, I'll be up there probably once a month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. So but yeah, so I mean, there's been a lot of back and forth, right, with the Golfer Gang Network and trying to get something together, and I think it would be crazy to have like a PA, New Jersey, New York kind of Ryder Cup style thing, and
that'd be a lot of fun.
Be fun.
That'd be a lot of fun because it's good too. Like a lot of us are on the East Coast. I mean, the Mulligans and Hackers, they're up in Canada.
Yeah,
that's obviously a long way for them, but for the majority of us so far, it seems like East Coast. So
yeah,
be a nice little get together. Jeff's doing a good job with this. Shout out to Jeff for all the work he's put into it for sure.
Yeah, it's growing fast, like really fast. And it's crazy because as I'm on different podcasts, and even we have this chat in I guess on Instagram, DMs and all that. I see, like, I don't go as hard as everyone else. Like I just, I want to make sure that I have content, and it's just me, right? So it's a little bit different, but I mean, these podcasts, some of the guests they're getting are it's unreal. Like it's going to be a really big thing. Very thing too.
It's pretty cool because I help out Anthony with the Upstate Golf guys. I'm a co-host on that one as well, and he had George Dunnan on, who's like a big influencer. He's got 40,000 followers. That was a great interview. Yep. I didn't know anything about the guy, so I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what are we talking about? I had no like. I walked in, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And by the time 5 minutes into the interview, this guy's energy was just that good that like it was a really just a good vibe. And then his next episode coming out is with New Nine, the guy who's trying to get on Augusta. That's a good interview. That's a good one.
Yeah. There's it's crazy when you really think about, like, you see, and I'll be honest with you, like I hear people talk about like influencers and their YouTube. Like I will never call myself that. I just like it. It's hard for me because like I'm just like, all this started for me just because. I'll tell you why I started a podcast. I actually have another podcast that I started for a different reason, but it's kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want like my great grandkids to be able to see my face and hear my voice and all that, right? So regardless of what the subject is,
sure.
That's why I started my other podcast. Listen, I can't get over how my head is literally glowing. My head, my face is like I'm trying to understand, but anyway. Maybe if I turn this off, that's a little better.
A little better. There you go.
So that's really why this all started. And I see, like, I'm not knocking anyone who's a YouTuber or an influencer or whatever, but I just like, I used to DJ too, right? So everyone's always like, "Oh, what's your DJ name?" I said, "I'm just John. Like, I'm just a dude who likes to do weird stuff, right?"
Yep.
But yeah, I love hearing other people's stories, right? Like I want to hear about you. So I'll have you on my podcast as well, so you can explain kind of how you got to where you are today and all that good stuff. But yeah,
awesome.
yeah, this is why I'm the bumbling golfer, dude. I will just ramble.
Hey man,
And
it's good with me, man. Let
yeah,
us know about you. Like tell the people in upstate New York and people who listen to this podcast what the bumbling golfer is all about.
yeah, man. So it's kind of evolved a little bit, but I started doing this just because I want to get better at golf, right? And I want to hold myself accountable. But I also have friends that live in other states, and I have family that people don't come out and play golf with me, right? And everyone's like, well, why do you love golf so much? So I was like, maybe I'll just show them. Like, I go out, I have a good time. I listen to music all the time, and I have like these Raycon earbuds. I have an earbud in all the time when I'm playing, even if I'm playing with friends. And that's really why I started it. But my new kind of what has evolved is me trying to help people and help make golf more inclusive to people, right? So I am a big proponent of, you don't have to go out and drop 5 grand on golf clubs to go have fun, right? And by the way, you don't even have to do that to be good.
Right.
There is
Absolutely.
technology out there, and I'm learning the hard way, right? So but my kind of mission with the channel and with the podcast and what I do and what I want to talk to people about is, if you want a brand new set of clubs, that's great. You go, if you have $1,200, go ahead and drop it. Like, I have
Sure.
$1,200, but I'm not parting with $1,200 when I can buy a set of clubs brand new or used for 2, 3, $400.
Yep.
And that's really what it's all about for me, right? So more inclusive golf, being able to, I live right outside of Philadelphia, and one of the great golf courses here in the Philadelphia area, depending on who you talk to, but it used to be a trap, but it's called Walnut Lane, and the city owns it. And it's where the PGA Reach and the PGA of Philadelphia, like the junior PGA, that's
Okay.
like their headquarters.
Okay.
And you can go there and you can play it for $15, right?
Oh
And the
wow.
city maintains it. It's really nice. It might be a little bit more than that.
Still, yeah.
Um, but it's mostly par fours and par threes, but it allows people to be able to go out and play golf. The other part of it is, I'm not paying 75 or $80 to go play golf at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Right.
I'm going to get up, I'm going to cut my grass, I'm going to hang out, do my thing. And then maybe at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the summertime, I'll go out and there's no one out there. I can film without people busting my shoes and saying, you're holding everything up, which, by the way, when I film, I'm still faster than everyone else in my group.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's really what it's about. It's about saying, golf can be expensive, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
hit, up until this year, I hit um noodle golf balls. I got them
Okay.
off of Amazon. They're 24 of them for $12 or something like that, right?
Yep. Yep.
And people are like, oh, and they would laugh at me. And they're like, oh, you must not play a lot. You're playing a noodle. And I go out there and wipe them up, like, and I hit Ram. I don't know if you've seen any of my other stuff, but like, I hit Ram golf irons. They're
Yeah.
FX 77s. They're very much like Tacomos. They're like sub 70s, but they're cheaper than all of it price wise. And I'll
Yep.
tell you, I went out today and played for the first time, and I shot a 78.
Nice.
And I'm a 13.7 right now. My goal, I went through a whole swing change, and that's a whole other conversation, but I went out and proved today. Like, I had people today saying, whoa, you have Ram golf bag, where'd you get that? I'm like, well, I'm connected with Simon Millington, the guy who is the CEO of all those business units. And I want people to really understand that you can't judge a book by its cover. Like, I went
Right.
out in a pair of joggers, and I have like a pair of skater golf shoes, and I had my Acorn Hills blue quarter zip on. And
Shout out Nate from Acorn Hills. Yep.
yeah, yes, Nate's such a good dude, man.
He's
Like,
awesome. He's been on the
eh,
podcast. He's a good dude.
yeah, he's going to change the world, man. Like, it's not just Chloe, he's going to build an empire. So that's really what I'm about, man. Just like getting out there and helping people understand, you don't have to go out and play at some exclusive course. Like, I've had some of the most fun ever on the worst golf courses, but you go and it's like, look, you put me on a golf course like that, I do okay. Put me on a course where there's fairways are like carpets and the putting is true, I'm
Yep.
gonna wipe people up as long as the greens aren't fast, because I'm the terrible putter.
Yeah. Yeah, Freer Park where we play, that's the thing there. The greens are fast as lightning. They break crazy, very difficult to read. Easy course, just when you get to the greens, that's where the challenge begins for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to be up your way at some point. Have you ever played at Chrisman's Wyndham House?
Is that down in Catskill?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I actually played with the owner's daughter
Okay.
last year. She's awesome, awesome golfer.
Yeah. So I want to come up there because I am I live just outside of Philly. There's no mountains down here. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
some mountains, but I was just up in Germantown, New York.
Okay, that's not far
Which
from me at all.
yeah, so I was there and we can talk offline as to why I was there.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to those the people there, Chrisman's, for probably a year. And I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna do a full on highly produced episode of the Bumbling Golfer. And I'm not get I don't here's the other thing. You see influencers or YouTubers or people out there that are saying, "Hey man, I'm this, I'm that, give me some free shit." I am not that guy, dude. Like if
Me
they're
neither.
like, "Hey, we'll give you 20% off because we do that for other people," no problem.
Sure.
But I'm going to go up, I'm going to fly the drone. I'm going to understand everything about Chrisman's Wyndham House. I want to understand about their maple syrup that they do. I want to understand everything about the business and as much as they'll tell me. And I want to understand about how they operate like year long. Like they have, and by the way, anyone listening, they're a great follow. Like they have their dog out there running around, and they do all the maintenance, and the course just looks amazing. And it's in the mountains.
Yeah, right in the middle of the mountains. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and
It's beautiful. I've drove through it and looked, drove past it and such. Just never played down there.
yeah. So I mean, maybe we could do something up there. I mean, I'm going to go up probably for a day or two because it's
Okay.
like 3 hours away from here. It's not, maybe 3.5.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go up and stay the night because they have lodging up there. And like I reached out to them too late last year because, again, me living down here, we don't have we don't have crazy winters, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, "Can I come up at this time?" They're like, "Well, we're kind of closed. You can drop $5 in the honor box and play if you want, but we don't have, like, their rooms aren't open or anything in the winter."
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. It's tough up
yeah,
there in the
it's
winter.
so that's the other thing, and more will come out as the year goes on. But that's what I want people to understand. Like you can go to these um lesser known places and meet the most amazing people
Yep.
and play really great golf courses, whether you're good or you're not, right?
Yep.
So I mean, I played today. It was Monday. I played with my neighbor at 12:30. Dude, the course was packed. It's a Monday,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And a lot of the places that are a little bit more kind of out of the way, they're easier access, and you get to actually talk to the owners, the people that are operating it, and the proprietors. And that's important to me, man, because there's not a lot of that anymore.
Right. Especially this time of year when they're the ones there running the show. They don't have their college kids helping out and all that
Right.
stuff. We played yesterday. And same thing. We get to the course, and now it's up here. It's wet. It's been raining for 3 days.
It didn't look great. I saw some of what you guys were
Yeah.
playing. It didn't look like a
Oh
lot of fun, but
no, I lost 2 or 3 balls just from being plugged, like dead center of the
yeah,
fairway. Where the hell is it, kind of thing.
yeah,
And we talked to the owner. We told him who we were, told him what
yep,
we were about, kind of thing. And he wanted us to come back up. Oh, come back up when it's nice out. Make sure you
yeah,
get some good footage, that kind of thing. So it's just
yep,
making the connections.
yeah, exactly. Like where it's just a conversation, right? It's
That's
really
it.
all it
That's
is.
it.
And I've reached out to several places, and I have some legit stuff that's going to be happening that I am beyond excited. Like there's I don't want to talk too much about it because
No,
it's like
absolutely not.
I feel like I
Yep.
kind of got the in on it, but like there is some places where I just reach out and I'm like, hey, all I'm asking for is access. That's all I want.
Yep.
Access. I don't want free anything. I don't want free nothing. And when you tell them that, they're like, well, here's the deal. Like, you can come up and we can get, like, we'll give you the best room we have. We'll do, we'll give you, like, and I start to look at things and oh, we'll give you like a free appetizer in our restaurant. Like, I love that stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's stuff that's not going to like break the bank.
Sure.
But like, I'm not going to increase their revenue, but I'm not also not asking for anything other than access, right? So I'm going to do the best job I can to show the amazing places And I think I'm going to do a series. It's going to be between 4 and 6 locations because, again, I'm going to be paying for it all.
Right.
And I am looking for a presenting sponsor, which would help
Absolutely.
offset the cost. But
Yeah.
I'm not looking for I think like $2,000. Like if I can somehow have someone help me with $2,000,
Yeah.
and it could be one person, could be multiple people, and all that, then that offsets my cost, and maybe I can do some more. But I'm a value add guy, man. Like
Yeah.
it's not that hard to go out and do, like, I'm going out to play golf. Like
Right.
I'm not going out there doing this highly produced, like it's not super highly produced, but I'm going to do a pretty good job.
Yep.
There's some really nice stuff out there. So again, that's really what it is for me. Learning more about people. I'm so curious about people, about
Yeah. Oh
how
yeah.
they got where they are in life, and how I can help them, because that's how I approach it. Like, how can I help you?
Right.
You know,
Right. You're helping me tonight by jumping on. Boom,
look,
right
man,
there.
I'm
I
not helping you.
appreciate
I'm
it.
just, I love talking to people, dude. Like, this
Nah,
is,
man.
you might think it's filling a spot for you. This is great for me, man. I love this kind of back and forth,
Yep.
and learning more about people. I was just at, I don't know if you've seen any of my stuff, but I played golf today,
Simulator.
and then I went to the Scramble House to work on some things that I struggle with today.
Okay.
But like 2 nights ago, I was there, and like this hip hop artist from Philly walked in. He's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Do you know anything about this place?" I was like, "Yeah, come with me." So I showed him around and all that. Super solid guy. Like, you never know who you run into. I mean,
Yep.
I've run into, I guess what you would call celebrities. I've run into, a lot of musicians, and a lot of people follow, and they're like, "Hey, man, if you're in the area, come down. I have this country club I belong to." And I mean, Marion is 10 minutes from my house. Aronimink is 10 minutes from my house. And yeah, some of the best golf courses in the country are
Yeah.
within probably an hour of here. And then, even up that way, it's amazing too.
Yeah. We got some pretty decent courses like Saratoga National when it's in mint condition.
Yep.
The course we play at Freer, just literally they put about $3 million of improvements into the course.
Yep.
5 years ago, we had temporary greens. Like we had a circle with a stick in the middle. You hit it in the circle, like it's a 2 putt, and you're
Yep.
on you go.
Yeah.
It was tough. Now you go out there and it's looking country club level for
Yep.
a municipal course. But there's definitely some nice courses. That place we played this weekend when it's nice out, that's really nice course.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're building relationships, man.
That's
Like,
it.
and meaningful relationships. It's not like, look, it's not even about the podcast. It's not about any, it's about going out and sharing this love of this sport that frustrates the shit out of all of us.
All of us. Yep.
But at the same time, like, you go out and, like, you have a good day, then, that's great. If you have a bad day, that's great too. And um it's amazing, man. Like, especially, you know, music and sports are like the most unifying thing ever. And
Yeah.
played with a guy today. We called up to him, and he's like, I'm not a great golfer. I'm like, I don't think there's a bad golfer around. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I just want to, you want to play? Yes or no? And he's like, yeah, man, we can do it. And then we had great conversation, learned that he worked for the railroad for like 35 years, and he just retired last November. And like, I love it, man. I do. I really do.
And that's the thing. That's how we got guys like that too. Like my guy Fairway Mike, we call him. He's a 35 years in the trucking industry. Just retired. Once he retired, all he wanted to do was golf.
Yep.
This guy's at the golf course. We got a 12 o'clock tee time. Well, he's there at 5 a.m.
Yep.
Off in the field, chipping and working on his irons and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. But he loves it. He's there every day with us, and we love having him. We got there's a mix of our group is a really good mix of guys. Um, some guys from my league, just some of my buddies, but now everybody hangs out to where any given time we could all link up and go watch a college basketball game
Yep.
or whatever's going on, whatever or you need a tea time. We'll call him. He'll go. Okay, let's go.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who's who. And that's the great thing about
Exactly.
it. Because prior to golf, I would have never known. I known Fairway Mike's kids, but I would have never known Fairway Mike the way I do.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's just cool to have those relationships now.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And then like eventually, meeting everybody from the network's going to be great. Just building this thing up, I really think is going to be good for everybody.
Yeah, and what's the great thing about this network so far? I mean, obviously, other than the everyone kind of coming together, I am finding that there's more like-mindedness in this group. Like, none of us are in this for money, right? None
None.
of us are like, and maybe at some point that'll come along. And Jeff, I mean, Jeff is a very successful guy in his own right, with the Steelers and all that stuff that he does.
Right.
Go Birds and all that other good stuff. But Jason Kelsey retired, greatest center to ever play.
Oh man.
But we like I think that we can do something really, really, really good. Like I'm talking like societal humanity,
Yep.
good stuff, like raise money for an organization or multiple organizations, or potentially even start our own organization. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
looking at the amount of, I mean, look, there's some really smart people here in
Yeah.
this group, and look, we're all connected in one way or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Nate very quickly earlier. Like that dude is changing the world,
Yeah,
and
man. He's on the grind all the
yeah,
time. He's just working.
yeah, and he's doing it in the way that he wants to do it.
Yep.
And guess what? We're all like, I wear Acorn Hill stuff. I don't get anything for it. Like I could, but like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not worried about going out and grabbing a commission. I want him to be successful. I want him to do his thing because I know that in 10 years when he's big and I'm like, yo, dude, like you never know. You never know what ends up
Yeah.
happening.
Yep.
And it's those kind of relationships, man, that I don't think people understand, like from a golfer perspective, right? Like I love the fact that you're sitting on here with a backwards hat. Like I'm just like I
Chilling,
got
man.
just
This is
like a
me. I'm
yeah, just
being
yeah,
me, you know?
exactly.
I'm just being me.
And that's one of the biggest things that I have with with where I practice. Like I go in and like there's one rule where I go and practice inside all year. It's you say hello when you go in and you say goodbye when you leave.
Yep.
And there's no food in there, no drinks, but you can bring food and you can bring drinks. It's just you got to make sure you clean up after yourself. And
Right.
Justin, who's my swing coach, he's the owner of the Scramble House, both of them. He like we did the golf show up in Edison, New Jersey. We did the golf show here in Philly, and people looked at him and they were like judging him on the fact that he was wearing his hat backwards and he had joggers on and a hoodie. And after people saw that he was good, I mean, he was teaching live lessons on a sim on a stage, and he had every single person that went up there. After they left, they were like, he's probably one of the best that I've ever worked with.
Hmm.
And 15 minutes, they got like 15 yards. They were, they had the option to stay there as long as they wanted. And it's those kind of things. Like again, I went out with a Q-zip on, and I went out with joggers on today, and
Yep.
no one's really gonna bust shoes, but like I love the individuality. Like one of my buddies, Brian, I was just with him. He's super eclectic, man. He will wear purples and whites, and like he's a K-State guy, so he's always wearing like K-State. Like he has a white golf bag. He's always dressed really well, and I'm wearing the same damn thing that I'm wearing, the week before. Um, but yeah, that's golf, man. Like I
That's
love
it.
it. I love
That's
it.
it. Same
Yeah.
thing. We got guys. My buddy co-host JR. He's wearing the purple and the pink and all that. He don't
Yep.
give a shit. And then I'm a basketball player my whole life, so I have all these old Jordans and
Yep.
LeBrons that I don't wear anymore. So I
Yep.
started buying those golf kicks and started
Yep.
screwing them right into the bottom. And now I'm turning all those into that's my thing. I gotta have the nice kicks out there when I'm playing golf. So
Yeah.
everybody finds their thing when they're out there, and it just go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
backwards hat.
Yeah, it's definitely a different world, but I think that I here's what I hope that courses, and by the way, like I don't really talk about pro golf, but like Anthony Kim went out and just like a pair of shorts and a too big of a t-shirt and a pair of dunks.
Yeah,
Everyone, that's all everyone was talking about. Like they weren't talking about like, oh, this guy was one of the great. And by the way, he's going to do some damage. Like
yeah,
once
I
he
think
finally
so.
hits his stride, he hasn't played golf. So anyway, like people are like, oh, he looked like a slob out there. I'm like, dude, that's how people look when they play golf. Like he's
Yeah.
just a real dude.
Yeah, we were out there in a hoodie the other day. Like I was out there in a hoodie. It was cold out, so I'm wearing a hoodie. But like that's the thing. Even with your buddy, your swing coach Justin, who is
Yep.
that the guy who's always in all the Instagram videos with you?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah. With him, like that's the way golf's going. Like it's
yep,
really like that's why the Waste Management Tour is so popular because of the laid backness and the party
yep,
atmosphere of it. It's not you got to wear the suit and tie like you're going to the Masters kind of thing.
right.
So that's where it's going now, and that's where I think Instagram popularity is even getting more views than some of these tournaments nowadays.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and that's that whole, just like the YouTube, like that thing that Good did, like it's just unreal.
yeah,
And it's only going to get bigger.
that's it.
It's only going to get bigger, and someone's making a ton of money on that. I don't know who, but someone.
Yeah, someone's getting paid. I'm surprised like a network doesn't like pick these guys up and make it a series kind of thing.
Well,
Like,
they had NBC did coverage on it.
oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, see, that's craziness. That's someone's there. Someone's getting paid off, and good for them, man. They earned it, starting from the ground up.
Yeah.
Starting
Yeah.
from the ground up.
Yeah, it's crazy, but we, like, even just my little bit of content that I create, and again, I hate the word content, drives me nuts. Like, it
I
feels
know.
dirty to me. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
I
but it, it
100%.
yeah, but it is. I mean, that's really what it is. And just putting out, like, dude, I get hate from people that I'm really surprised I get hate from. They're like, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that." I'm like, "Well, just do your own YouTube stuff."
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, "Well, I don't have time to do it." I'm like, "Well, then, like, I get it, and I appreciate what you're saying to me, but, like, I kind of like it the way I do it." And I have friends. One of my friends, one of my old neighbors, Charles. He was like an NBC cameraman. Like, he did all the Olympics and all that. He's like, "Hey, man, maybe if you do this, you do that." Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But like the podcast, people are like, "Oh, I saw you only had this many listens or this many views on your YouTube." I'm like, "Oh, well, you're digging really hard, dude. Like, you're
Right.
digging for
If you're
this."
going
And
to see how many views I'm getting,
yeah,
what are you even
yeah,
concerned about?
and it doesn't bother me at all.
No.
Like, there's nothing that anyone can say to me that, like, you know whatever. I just had a conversation with a guy at the Scramble House. I was like, the hardest thing is starting.
Yeah.
But
The confidence to start, not worried about, like, my biggest thing was what to start it about, and then once I did, it was just like, all right, let's do it. I didn't care what anybody said.
yeah.
I was going to do my own thing. I found my lane with the cannabis way,
Hmm.
and you know what I mean. I was like, all right, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to go all in with it. We got the local sponsor from the dispensary.
Yep.
Everything's been working out great so far. I mean, there's certain people who, like Nate, for example, love Nate, great kid,
Yep.
but like he's in college still. I get he can't, like, I can't, be an ambassador. Like, I'm an
Yep.
ambassador for him, but like I don't expect him to share my reels and stuff like that.
Right.
I
Yep.
get it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
like,
mean, look, you have a lane, I have a lane, we all have our thing. Like,
yeah,
my podcast and all of my videos, that, like, that the conversation we just had was as much PGA live as I'll probably ever say, ever. And but that's just my thing, like, there's a ton of, like, I'm not interested in watching an entire, like, I love baseball, dude. I can't watch an entire baseball game. I watch the
no,
highlights. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like the live golf, they're like, "Oh, here's the recap for the day," and it's like 15 minutes long. Yeah, I'll consume that all day long. I'm not going to
right,
sit there and watch anything, because it's people just consume stuff differently. And that was another thing I had to learn the hard way. I did some longer format stuff, and like the retention rate was like almost zero.
yep,
And 15 minutes and 30, I know we're coming up on 30 minutes, which is kind of like the max, right? So we're learning that too.
yep, yep.
But you can also chop things up a little bit differently and do things in different ways. But yeah, man, this is great, dude. I appreciate you. Yeah, it was smart. First of all, it's really, really smart of you to say, "Hey, man, I had someone cancel. Is there anyone that can jump on?" And
Right. It
if
was
someone
worth a
can jump
shot, you
on,
know.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because you have time set aside, and like my kids are older. Like, one's in Florida now doing Habitat for Humanity, and the other one is a senior in high school. So, like,
Nice. Yep.
I'm just kind of doing my thing, and I like to do this stuff. And again, you never know who you meet, man. Like,
That's it, man.
I look at it like this: we could be friends for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
we could
Right.
somehow get some kind of weird trip together, and next thing you know, we're playing golf with cameras, without cameras,
Right.
whatever the
Whatever.
case is.
Right.
And you just never know, man. You just never know. And I think that's the other thing I like to try to help people understand. Never judge a book by its cover. you
That's
know
it. That is it.
and you never know who you're going to meet. You never know how you're going to meet, and you never know if the day that I'm playing. I always say this. I'm like, I have people tell me all the time, "Well, how do you know how can you get along with everyone? I said, man, you don't know if I'm the only person on this planet that's nice to that person. You
Yeah.
never know. They could
Never
have
know.
the worst life ever.
Yep.
And I'm out there listening to music, having a good time, and they're vibing, and we're all catching, a good vibe, and everything's going great. And dude, you don't know if that's like the only time, the one time a year they can either afford to play golf or have the time to play golf, or, you never know if it's like an anniversary of like, I don't know, someone who they love to play golf with who passed, like, and that's their
Yeah.
way. You just got to go out and have a good time, man, and
Yeah.
and have it be accessible is really important to me. That's
Yeah.
really kind of what my deal
That's
is.
a big thing too. Yeah, because I had a guy. I had the Gimme Gang golfers on. He's got a cool thing. He goes and tries to, everything he does goes back to like the youth organizations,
Yep.
and I forget the name of it, First Tee or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And all the donations go back to that. And there's another charity off of that. So like 15% of his profit goes to them. And like that's
Right.
something in my area. I looked into it. We don't even have. So I'm
Yeah.
going to start looking into maybe joining something up like that,
Yep.
and doing the same thing with, my merch and whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of different things that everyone can do to kind of, you know, I guess make the world a better place in your own way. But
Yeah.
again, that's why I think with the golfer gang, and the only reason I got hooked up with everyone was because of Nate. That, like, he is a catalyst for all this for me. I don't know how
Yep.
it is for everyone else, but I I love to see people win, man. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see you win. I want to see
Yeah.
everyone on
Same.
this network win, and if I can help in any way, like, seriously, if there's anything I can do to help you,
Yeah. You're proving
reach
it
out.
right now for
Yeah,
sure. So,
yeah, reach out for sure. And I mean, I've seen things going back and forth, like, oh, we have this event, we have this charity event. Like, I might not be able to make it, but I might be able to send something. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I might be able to
Right.
donate to it. And are you hooked up with the guys at 517 Golf out in
I'm with,
Michigan?
no, I'm with the Upstate Golf guys.
You gotta hook up with Timmy. It's Timmy Buckets.
Okay.
It's 517 Golf on Instagram. I'll send you the information.
Sure.
You guys will get along really well,
Okay.
like really well.
Good.
And they're big into like I'm not a cannabis user at all.
Mm-hmm.
But those guys are, and they do like cannabis, infused dinners, like,
Okay.
all it's insane what they do. And I met them at the golf show here in Philly, and they have an event out there on August 26th. And like, so I'm sure, just like everyone else, you look at like Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, the that mailman guy from I think Cincinnati or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one mailman, the Stanko Booty dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
so they have an event out there on August 26th, and it's a John Daly event, and that guy's going to be there too. And then Wee Man from Jackass is going to be there.
Oh wow.
And it's like this big, huge, like, they raise a ton of money for different organizations. And then
Mm-hmm.
they are also doing another one in I think like maybe the Nashville area or something like that. But
Okay.
Timmy's a good dude, man. Those guys are really good guys, and they came to the Scramble House the one day after the golf show, and they did this. They just did a video, and their reels hit like 450,000 views or something like that.
Wow.
And when they get to
Wow.
500,000, they're going to give away, I think, a PXG driver.
Oh, nice.
Um, but they're great dudes, like, all around good dudes. And like, Timmy's a real good, solid guy, and like, he'll put some content on. Again, I hate that word, but like, he'll go on and say, look, man, if anyone needs someone to talk to, like, you could just tell he's a good guy. Like, they're
Right.
really good people. So I'll send you the information,
For
and he'd
sure.
probably be a great guy to have on your podcast. And
Awesome.
because I think they're pretty heavily into that in the Michigan area. Michigan's huge for that,
Oh yeah.
so
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, but yeah, we should just continue to like cross promote. And if
Hundred
send people
percent.
my way, I'll send people your way, and
Absolutely.
let's just grow this thing, man.
That's
Let's
it.
grow this. And if we can use our platform, whatever the platform is,
Yep.
to help people, man, there's no doubt in my mind we can make a difference for sure.
Absolutely. And then we're just going to continue to grow, as you can see. I think it's just really going to get better. And when you come up here, definitely let me know. You know, obviously we'll talk about it off air, but
Yep.
I know Anthony and Mike from Upstate Golf Guys would definitely be interested.
Yeah.
And it's 45 minutes from my house where you are
Okay.
going down there, so it's not bad
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
more than happy to take the ride down.
Yeah, it sounds good, man. I appreciate you having me on, and you know, unfortunately for you, but fortunate for me, I got to do this. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
this is great, man. This is great, and we'll definitely do it again. I think we're gonna maybe do something big with the group for the Masters is
yep,
the plan. So that'd be a lot of fun as well.
yeah, yeah, awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and well, I'll have you on as well
Yeah, man.
on this end, and I'll come up with some questions that we can kind of dig into from your perspective. But
Awesome.
again, man, if there's anything I can do to help. If there's any events or anything like that and I can promote or anything like that, let me know. And if I can, I will. And,
Absolutely.
um, you know, like I said, you know, the Albany's not that far away from here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
same. Yeah,
And even if there's something in between, I mean, I would love to come up there and play mountain golf, dude. It's like mountain
yeah.
golf is my favorite kind of golf.
And that's a nice course. I mean, from the looks of it, I never played it, but just from the looks of it, driving, past it through it, it's a nice looking course. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be excited
Perfect.
to play that as well. So yeah, we'll definitely link up when you get up there. Excuse me. Once again, thank you for coming on. Make sure everybody checks out 420 Bliss up on Hoosick Street. Also, check out my man Omar at the Custom Rag. Appreciate him coming on and his wife last week. One of the best quality. You got to check these out. I don't know if you've seen these yet. Um,
Yeah,
these are
I
serious.
did see that. Yeah.
He's got the scrubber on the back. I mean, he's the man. You got to check him out.
All right. Yeah,
Uh,
I'll do that for sure.
for sure. Check him out. Once again, thanks for coming on, man. I really do appreciate it. And we'll link up soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you and have a good night, dude.
Take care.
All right, man.